Hey, this is Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and I'm joined by...
This is Robin McAuley from Black Swan. Thanks, Sebastian. It's good to be on the Metal Gods Rock.
First up, I must say how much I love Shake the World. How pleased are you guys with the feedback so far from media and fans to the tracks you have released?
Surprisingly awesome. I mean, we weren't sure what to expect, obviously. The response, the comments have been tremendous, really, really positive. We're very excited about the record. It was a blast doing this. It was very difficult in terms of getting us all together in the same room at the same time, or studio, if you will. But we made it work, and the results are, I think, a great record. We're very proud of it. We love Black Swan, and we love the artwork. I have it all over my wall.
It's really hard to believe the album is by veterans of the rock and metal scene. Your voice is so phenomenal and sounds good as ever. Where do you all draw your energy and inspirations from?
You know, it's my instrument. It's my only instrument. I'm a terrible guitar player and I'm a lousy drummer. So, that being said, I take exhaustive care of my instrument. I worry about it all the time because I need it to be always 100%. That's not always that easy because I work a show here in Vegas 5 nights a week, Saturday through Wednesday. Raiding the Rock Vault. We're going into our 7th year. We've amassed some 1,500 shows. So I sing all the time, and that kind of right there is the key, because like any athlete, you know, the more you hone your abilities, the stronger you become. I do notice that if I haven't been singing for a couple of weeks for whatever reason, it takes a little bit to get back into it again and really work those muscles and get the strength back up. So I'm always very careful about where I'm at. You know, I've never smoked in my life, so I think that's maybe a big plus. I enjoy a glass of wine, but I never touch alcohol when I'm drinking. I'm really a boring person, you know. And when I don't have to talk too much, I don't talk at all. My wife thinks I'm very unsociable.
Can you tell me which is your favourite track today on Shake the World?
Oh, wow. Well, I love the 2 tracks that came out. I love the title track, Shake the World. It's an ass kicker. Big Disaster is great. There's a lot of tracks on there also that nobody's heard. I love Immortal Souls, When Johnny Came Marching Home, The Rock That Rolled Away, you know, Divided. I like them all, simply because it was a lot of fun recording the record. There's some great ballads on there. A couple of big surprises coming on Valentine's Day with the release of the record. You know, I'm just happy overall with the thing, and I hope people like it. I don't know what else to tell you. It was just a lot of fun putting it together. writing process was so much fun, and we talked about the production. We wanted to keep it powerful. We wanted to keep it pretty fresh, raw, and Jeff Pilson did an absolute phenomenal job putting all of that together. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. I've told a few people that in everything I've ever recorded and released, I think this is my top of the pile favorite. I just love the whole sound. Can't believe at my age that I actually am sitting on something like this, and it's about to be released. So it's easily my personal best work to date, I believe.
Why was the band actually named Black Swan?
Reb came up with the idea. We were kicking around ideas of, oh man, we're writing it and we're going, you guys need to come up with a name. And I'm going, who needs a name? Let's call it the Four Musketeers. And a lot of what we came up with was already taken by somebody else. And then Reb came back one day and he goes, why don't we call it Black Swan? And I think somebody said, well, there was just a movie called Black Swan, so you can't do that. So the label did some research, and I think there was a brass band called Black Swan, something or other, but there was no rock band called Black Swan. So they jumped on it, did their research, and managed to register the name, and we kept it. We love it. It's perfect, I think, for the type of music and the band that it is. And, we had the artist Stan Decker work on it, and that's what he came back with, and I love it. I think it's a great package.
It's an excellent name, and it's going to make an excellent tattoo. Are you going to get one of yourself?
No, I've actually already ordered a very large canvas. That's how much. I know it's very conceited, isn't it? That's how much I like the artwork. So I've ordered this big ass canvas that I want up on my wall. Tattoo, pretty elaborate, but I have got lots of tattoos, so one more won't hurt.
Can you tell us your plans for 2020 with Black Swan?
Right now, we don't have anything set in stone, simply because I have a heavy schedule with, I perform 5 nights a week here in Vegas with Raiding The Rock Vault. I have Schenker Fest in Japan in March. Then we have the UK with Schenker Fest in April, and a bunch of other cities across Europe also in April, with potentially a US tour at the back end of all of that. Everybody's asking, will Black Swan tour? My answer is kind of the same with everybody. It'll be interesting to see what the reaction is when we actually drop the record on the 14th and see what kind of interest there is. That said, of course, Reb is just crazy busy with Whitesnake, and then he will be with Winger after that. Jeff Pilson is the same with Foreigner. Actually, they just started a residency here in Vegas. And Foreigner, amasses some 200 plus shows a year. And then Matt Starr, of course, has got Mr. Big and Ace Frehley. If we make it to Christmas, we'll be thankful. But ideally, we want to do some shows with this. It's a difficult one to plan, and I hope that we can get around each other's schedules and make that happen. So there you have it.
Michael Schenker Fest sounds amazing.
It's a very special, actually the Japanese show is very special because he's bringing in addition to Bodo Schaff on drums, we'll also have Simon Phillips on drums. And in addition to Chris Glenn on bass, we'll have Barry Sparks, who was on one of the very earlier Michael Schenker Group records, and we also will have Ronnie Romero guesting with us. So it's quite the it's going to be quite the show. So I'm looking forward. I always love playing the UK. It's just great audience in the UK. It's just killer.
When you're touring with Michael Schenker and you've got all those egos in one room, do you all get on?
Oh my God! I mean, of course, you'll expect me to say yes, but yes is the answer, because back in my McAuley Schenker days, I had heavy shoes to fill when we'd have to get into the Gary Barden period or the Graham Bonnet period and sing those songs as part of the McAuley Schenker set, if you will, for however long that lasted. And when, 3-4 years ago, when Michael suggested that at the Sweden Rock Festival he wanted to bring in Gary and Graham, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I mean, to be up there with those guys that I have huge admiration for, and actually get to sing alongside them, sing backups with them, it has not changed since we started, and we've been doing it for about 4 years now. And brought in Doogie White from the Temple of Rock period, and we have an absolute blast because none of us are the same. We have all very, very different periods with Michael. So there's this wonderful transition of periods. Gary goes all the way to late 70s into the early 80s, and then Graham only did Assault Attack, but one of the greatest records Michael's ever put out. And his period is again very different than Gary's. Then you have my more 80s sort of, that kind of rock period. And then the Temple of Rock is different again. So people are treated to a 2.5 hour spectacle of very different yet a cohesive Michael Schenker history, And this year we'll also celebrate 40 years of Michael Schenker. So there's a lot to celebrate. And people seem to love it. I in the beginning I thought, oh my God, how are people going to put up with 2.5 hour show? If I go to Bruce Springsteen, I have to leave at the interval because it's just too long. And people love it. People just seem, oh my God, why didn't you do this and this and this and this? We'd be there all night. It's no egos, and I'm saying that honestly from my heart. Absolutely no egos. Our main focus is that we do what we do and make it as entertaining as possible for the audience, and that we cover as much of the Schenker history as we possibly can in that 2.5 hour period, and we mix it up. We try to do different songs every night so people get a little taste of everything. That's what we try to do, and we still don't get close to all of the material because there's just so much. Yeah. But that's the goal, and Michael has planned all of this. He's in amazing shape. He's playing probably the best I've ever heard him. It's just, he's very focused, and it's killer. There's no question about it. Sadly, we lost our dear Ted McKenna this time last year, which was a shocker for us. And so we miss him. But, in his honor, Michael has kept going. And, we bring it to the audience, and they seem to really like it. So I'm thankful for that.
Also, the Raiding The Rock Vault shows you do in LA sound amazing as well. Is there any music?
Yeah, Raiding The Rock Vault started in 2013, and we came in with the idea of perhaps, just putting a showcase on for a weekend, and now we're going into our 7th year with almost 1,500 shows under our belt at 5 nights a week. And we just moved from the Hard Rock Hotel, which was just recently bought by Richard Branson. It will become Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, and we moved into another casino, the Rio Casino, on January the 11th. So, people love it. It's classic rock. It's like 60s through the 80s. It's the story of classic rock, and there is an amazing, just the depth of musicians from Doug Aldrich to Tracy Guns, to Howard Leese, to Rowan Robertson, to Blas Elias, who was the drummer with Slaughter, to Yes's drummer with Jay Shellen, to Andrew Freeman and Paul Shortino and Todd Kearns and Michael T. Ross and Phil Suzanne and Hugh McDonald. We have 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Famers in there. So it's just great. People love it. People want to be entertained. That's the secret, I do believe. So, give people entertainment, and they'll keep coming back to see you. And you're talking about egos. You would think with such a wealth of musicians in Raiding The Rock Vault that somebody would stand on somebody's toes. But again, it's all about the show. It's all about giving people what they came to hear. And that's what we try to accommodate. And 1,500 shows later, we're still cooking with gas.
And it comes on to my next question, which is sort of relevant as well then, is Gene Simmons once said that rock and roll is dead. Your album, Shake the World, proves him wrong. Would you say that's a fair comment, as well as doing so many nights a week over the years in Las Vegas?
Yeah, rock is not dead. Not even close to it. Not because of Raiding the Rock Vault or Black Swan, but it is alive and kicking. In fact, if you were here in Las Vegas, you would clearly see how much classic rock is alive and well. You know, Foreigner just took up a residency here. You have Billy Idol coming through. You have Def Leppard coming through. You have Aerosmith here. You have John Fogerty here. It is, you know, Guns N' Roses come through here. It's never ending, and people just cannot get enough of it. It is far from over. Time was maybe, you know, after the 80s when we came through all of the grunge and the alternative, you know, it looked like pretty desperate. But I always like to say that the dinosaurs were just in the nearby field grazing, just waiting for that opportunity, and we came back in and we ate everything up. We're feeding well on it. It's really good.
And of course, you will have had many, many outstanding moments in your career, but which one springs to mind straight away today?
I think I'm really proud of Black Swan, and I'm not just saying that. I think of everything I've ever recorded, I really like this. I cannot believe at my stage in my life, career, that I've actually been honored to be a part of just a very powerful record. Never thought this would happen. This is my Fab Fave right here. This is just, I'm really proud of this when I'm going, can't believe we just did that. And yeah, I'm loving where I'm at right now, truly.
If you hadn't been a successful musician, what do you think your career would have turned out to have been?
Well, I'm not sure I am a successful musician. I'm a working musician. I'm just grateful that I can continue to work. There are monetarily many more successful musicians, and they get to continue to work and they make a lot of money while they're doing it. I don't fall into that category, but I do fall into the category of been blessed with the work. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm not sure what else I would do, really. I wouldn't know what else to do. This is kind of where my heart and soul and my passion is at. And as long as I can keep doing it, guess what? You know, I'll keep doing it. So, yeah.
I mean, I was a young teen in the 80s when metal and rock got loads of airplay. Do you think, and are you glad that you started when you did?
Well, you know, relative to my age is basically when I started, and, you know, I did all the pubs and the clubs. I lived in London for about 16 years, and I think I probably played in every pub. I was in different bands. I managed to walk from a pub band straight into Grand Prix with a record deal, tour with the likes of Maiden and Sammy Hagar, and I just thought, you know, I always only ever wanted to make one record, one tiny little 7-inch piece of plastic single, and stick it on my turntable. And when I did that, I went, doesn't look much, does it? Let's make another one. and so it went on. And you know, you get into doing what you do and loving what you do, and you never want to stop. Then, you know, here I am at 67. I'm going, shouldn't you be over by now? You know, and now I just put a Black Swan record out, and I'm going, it's never over. You know, it's never over if you don't want it to be over. So am I glad when I started when I did? I guess I am. Yeah, you know, and here I am.
What would you, Robin McAuley, like to be remembered for in 100 years' time?
Been a good dad, good husband, and a decent enough person. That'll do me fine. You know, and not an asshole. I'll take that. Yeah.
Can you tell us what your motto is in life?
What's my motto? You know, I want to keep doing what I do. I just think the world is a very strange place right now. Has been maybe for a while. And going forward, there's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of animosity, and there's a lot of hatred. I don't want to be any part of any of that. I tried to tell my kids the same thing, that, you know, you get nothing for being an asshole, because people will always remember you as an asshole. There's nothing wrong. My mom always used to say, you know, if you go through life saying please and thank you, it's not so bad, you know. Be grateful and thankful. And that's just, try to live my life like that. And I love my family life outside of the music. And that keeps me grounded, keeps me going. And I couldn't ask for anything more. So, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.
Thank you so much for your time. I want to again congratulate you on the album. It is amazing, and it is...
Thank you, Seb. I appreciate all your support. Thank you.
It is like being back in time, but brought back kicking and screaming into 2020, and it's amazing. So if I could just ask you if you have any final words for your fans and our listeners.
February 14th, please pick up your copy of Black Swan Shake the World. It's going to make a great Valentine's gift. She'll shake you. You'll shake her world forever. And continue to listen to Metal Gods Rock. Sebastian will take good care of you. And keep it alive.